Welcome IGCSE students. Today in this quick video we are going to look at two topics. We're going to work a little bit with algebraic fractions, and we're going to learn how to add and subtract more complicated algebraic fractions and solve equations with these when there is an equation present with these. So I'm going to try a few from the exercise. I think you've got 1ADG, so why don't I try 1E. So 1E presents us with this. We have 7 all over 2x plus 5 plus, subtract minus 2 over 3x minus 2. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply, which means that I want to multiply the 7 by the 3x minus 2, and I want to multiply the 2 by the 2x plus 5. So I like to do this step by step, especially when I'm teaching students how to do this who haven't done very much of it, because it's very easy to make mistakes. So the next line is going to look like this: 7 bracket 3x minus 2, subtract 2 into 2x plus 5, and then that will all be over our new denominator, which will be 2x plus 5 into 3x minus 2. Now this is the point that you've got to be very careful of. We have this minus here, and this is where students often go wrong. So that's why I do this intermediate step that I've done here, because you're less likely to make a mistake. So we're going to expand our brackets in the next line, and we will get, I think I've made a little mistake here. That should be a 3x up there. So I'm just going to fix that up. I'm sure you would have noticed that as I was doing it. 3x minus 2. Okay, now we'll expand that top bracket. So we'll have 21x minus 14. And the second bracket, because we've got that minus here, it's going to be minus 2 times minus 2x, which is minus 4x. And then we're going to have minus 2 times 5, which is minus 10. And that should be all over 2x plus 5 into 3x minus 2. And then the last step will be to simplify everything. So 21 subtract 4 should be 17x. And then minus 14 minus 10 should be minus 24. And we're going to pop that all over bracket 2x plus 5, close bracket, into 3x minus 2, and that will be us. So that will be our final simplification there. Now we're going to try an example where we are going to solve an equation. So let's do something like 2b. You've got to do one similar to this, so this might be helpful to you. We have x minus 6 all over, over x plus 7 is equal to x plus 3 all over x minus 2. Now, if I multiply both sides by x minus 2, that's my first step. What you'll find is in my next line I'll have x minus 6 bracket, and then I've got to times that whole thing by the x minus 2, and that will all be over x plus 7. So that's the left hand side, but you'll notice on the right hand side that if I times that side by x minus 2, I'll end up with x plus 3, because the x minus 2 that I'm multiplying will cancel out the denominator of x minus 2. And then in the next line, I'm going to times both sides by x plus 7. Okay, so that's my next step. And you'll see that that will cancel out the x plus 7 denominator on the left-hand side, which will leave me with x plus 3 into x plus 7 on the right-hand side. So now I'm going to expand my brackets. X squared. If I use FOIL here, I should end up with x squared minus 8x plus 12 once I've simplified. So it'll be x squared minus 2x minus 6x minus a positive 12. Okay, so I've just simplified that quickly. And this one will be x squared plus 10x plus 21, because I'd have x squared plus 7x plus 3x, which is 10x, plus 21. Then I will pull everything across. So I'm going to pull my x's across to the right-hand side. You'll notice that if I take away x squared from both sides, that they will cancel out. So I'll bring this across to this side by subtracting it, and I'll bring this across to this side by adding it. So my next line will be 12 is equal to, now the x squared, take away x squared is 0. Then I'll have 18x, because I've added that 8x to both sides to get rid of it from the left-hand side. Now I'm going to pull the 21 across to the other side by subtracting. So I'm going to have 21, hang on, is that correct? Is that what I want to do? Yep. Then I'm going to have 18x is equal to 12 minus 21. Now this looks like it's not going to be very nice at all. Negative 9. So it's not a whole number, but it will be negative 9 over 18, which is negative 1/2. And that would be our answer there. Sometimes things can be a little bit more complex, and you'll see these examples. Now I'm going to look at solving a more complex one. I'm going to do 3b. I think you have to do 3a and a couple of others. These can be a bit tricky, so follow closely. We have 7 over 2x minus 3. And then we're taking away 5 over 2x plus 1. And that is all equal to 6. Now my next line, I'm going to cross multiply, and I'm going to be very careful because I've got a minus in the middle here. So my next line should read something like this: 7 bracket 2x plus 1 minus 5 bracket 2x minus 3, and that will be a fraction all over, and then I'm just going to leave this 2x minus 3 2x plus 1 like that. So that's just creating a simplified fraction, just like we do with normal fractions when we don't have algebra. Now the next step is I want to take this denominator across the other side, and I do that by multiplying both sides by it. So my next line will read 7 into 2x plus 1 minus 5 into 2x minus 3 is equal to 6 bracket 2x minus 3 bracket 2x plus 1. Now I'm going to do a little bit of expanding. So on the left hand side I get 14x plus 7 minus 10x plus 15 is equal to 6, and I'll expand, I'll use FOIL for the double bracket, so I should get 4x squared plus 2x minus 6x minus 3. On the left hand side I will get 4x plus 22 once I simplify. On the right hand side I'm going to get 6 into 4x squared, and I gather my like terms for my x's, it should be minus 4x minus 3. Now I'm going to expand that right hand side, so the next line should be 4x plus 22 equals 24x minus 24x squared minus 24x minus 18. Now I'm going to divide everything by 2, because as you can see, everything has 2 going into it. So 2x plus 11, then I divide every term on the other side by 2, so I get 12x squared. minus 12x minus 9. I'm going to pull everything across to that right hand side. So 0 is equal to 12x squared. Now when I pull that minus 2 across, I'm going to get minus 14x. And when I pull that 11 across, it'll be minus 11, which is minus 20. And I still see I can divide out by 2 again. So if I divide out by 2, I get 6x squared minus 7x minus 10 equals 0. At this point, I think I can factorize. So I could have 6 and 1, and 3 and 2, and then I've got factors of 10, 1, 2, 10, and 2 and 5, and I've got to figure out what I'm going to use. Now I think I'm going to go 6 times a minus 2, and 1 times a positive 5. That's what I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to go 6x minus 2, and then plus 5. I think that's right. That'll give me 6x squared minus 12x plus 5x, yeah, which is minus 7. Yep, okay. So x is equal to negative 5/6 or 2. There's our result. Okay, now the other thing that you have to do in this exercise is variation. Okay, so this is related to, so we're going to do direct linear variation. Okay, and this is proportion. Okay, direct variation. That's what we're talking about next. Now the formula for this is y is equal to some constant times x. So this stands for a constant, unchanging number. Oh, a constant. Spell it right. Constant. And obviously this relates to direct proportion, because if it's y equals kx, you know that you've got something that comes through the origin here. Okay, so depending on what the value of k is will depend on how steep the graph is, but it will cross at the origin. Okay, now I think you have a number of these to do. I'm not quite sure what the ones I gave you. I gave you 1, 3, 7. So I'm going to do number 5 with you just to show you the ropes. So in number 5 we are told that y is proportional to x. That means y is equal to some constant times x. We're given another 2 pieces of data that when x is 6, y is equal to 0.6. So now we can find the formula. So 0.6 is equal to k times 6. Therefore, k is equal to 0.6 divided by 6. So k is equal to 0.1. So our formula is y equals 0.1 k. And then part B, we now use that to help us find the value of x when y is 7. X equals question mark, y equals 7. So all we need to do is go 7 is equal to k, which is 0.1 times x. Oh, I just realized I made a mistake in writing the previous answer. It's 0.1 is k, and I should have written x here, so I'm just fixing that up now. I hope that didn't confuse anybody. I've just changed it there. Okay, so going back to part B, I know y is 7. I don't know what x is. So I put in my formula, 7 is equal to kx, or 0.1x, and then therefore x must be equal to 7 divided by 0.1. So x must be equal to 70. That is how you do those questions. Well, good luck. I hope that helps you with the other direct proportion questions.